Hi, I'm Bill Driscoll, and I'm here at the DeTech home office today to show you some routine maintenance involved in your smoke detectors. To start with, we'd like to congratulate you for protecting your family with the DeTech quality equipment. And you're very fortunate to have not only a 20-year warranty on your smoke detectors, but to have an almost maintenance-free detector. But there are a few items that should be addressed. Usually we find about every 8 to 12 years, so this is not a lot of maintenance, but it is a little bit, and I'd like to show you what that is. Before we do anything with our alarm system, before we take a smoke detector down off the ceiling, the first thing I'd like to ask you to do is determine, do you have a monitored alarm system? In other words, does it call the monitoring company and then in turn call the fire department when the alarm goes off? If so, you should have a base station located somewhere in your home. If that's the case, before you perform this maintenance, it's very important that you call the monitoring company and put your system on test. Otherwise, you may end up with the fire department showing up on your front door before this is over. So, it should be on a quick guide that is placed, a little sheet of paper that's about this size, that's placed someplace either on or near your base station. It will have your account number on it, and it will also have the phone number of the monitoring company. I can give you that customer service number now. It's 800-883-2368. 800-883-2368. Call that number, tell them your account number, and that you'd like to place your system on test. They'll probably ask you how long. I think 30 minutes should be plenty adequate. So now the next thing we need to do is prepare to take our smoke detector down. Again, if it's a monitored system, once we take it down, it's going to send a signal to our base station to say that it's been tampered. So you may hear some beeps during this operation. To take it down is very simple. Just grab it firmly. It's very light, but grab it firmly. Turn it counterclockwise. Just about 1/8 of a turn, the detector will come down in your hand very simply like this. Now, the first thing I suggest that you do once you've done that is to remove the batteries. Before you do that, I want to show you a couple things of how you can tell if your detector is working properly. One is you can look at this light right here. It's normal for this to flash about every 8 seconds. This has a complete self-diagnostic system in it. So what that does, every 8 seconds, it tests everything. It tells you that it's the proper sensitivity and that all the systems are working properly. If that's the case, it should need no maintenance whatsoever. The other way that we can test it is to push and hold the test button and then count how many times it flashes. I'm going to do that for you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can see that from there, 5 times that flashed. Now it's going to beep. And you hear what that sounds like. So 5 flashes also is perfectly normal. That means it's set at a 2.5% concentration of smoke. If it's dirty, then it's going to be less than that or more than that. So, now the maintenance part of it. First thing I recommend that you do is turn it over on the back and prepare to take the batteries out. Just slide this cover over and pull that cover off. Should be a ribbon on the back here that you can pull those batteries out and just set them aside. These batteries will last, usually our experience is these last about 10 years in the non-monitored detectors and about 8 to 9 years in the monitored detectors. So if you're experiencing any trouble with your smoke detectors and the batteries are not 8 or 10 years old, there's a pretty good chance that it just needs to be rebooted. All you have to do to reboot your smoke detector is just push on this test button right here for about 6 to 8 seconds and hold it very firmly, and that will reboot the entire computer inside, and then everything should be fine. Now, further maintenance that you might want to do with this thing is cleaning it. Again, usually they don't need to be cleaned every 8 to 12 years because there's also an automatic drip compensation module in here that automatically readjusts itself every 24 hours. Every 27 hours. So it's readjusting itself. So to take that cover off, you saw how simple that was, but let me show you in detail what I did to take this off. I put my fingers right in here and then use my knuckles to kind of curl around just like that. What I'm really doing is just prying that off there. I know it seems like it's going to break it, but it's not. It's the way it's designed. So now you've got that cover off, set it aside. If you look on here, you'll see 2 arrows. Those 2 arrows on this smoke chamber, if you squeeze at those 2 arrows, and pull that cover off, now you've exposed the smoke chamber. You can clean this smoke chamber, clean it in some non-residue soap such as Dawn Dawn cleaning liquid. Use that, soap and water, to clean this out very good and let it dry. Or if you have another smoke chamber to put on, you can just use the next smoke chamber. Inside here you can see this is the eye, and this is the optics right here that's always looking for smoke. If you have a small brush or something, it's best to take and clean all the dust off everything in here. So just take that little brush and brush everything aside here, brush the dust off of there. Then take your new chamber, the chamber that's once it's dry, or take your new chamber and place it back on. You can do that by lining up the two arrows with the pins on the outside here. And then push it down into place. You should hear it lock into place. Then take the cover, put the cover back on, and give it just a little bit of a turn, and it locks into place. Now, turn it back over, install your batteries, making sure that you're paying attention to the polarity that's listed on here as to which way it goes, and they do both go in the same way. Fold over the ribbon, put the battery cover on, just like that, and all the maintenance to our detector is done. And that's right, you probably won't need to do this again for another 8 to 12 years. This DeTech equipment is quality equipment that does not involve a lot of maintenance. Should you have any questions or problems, one of the things that you can certainly do is to contact the representative that helped you protect your family in the first place. I'm sure they'll be glad to help you. Should you not be able to get a hold of them, then feel free to give us a call at the DeTech home office. We're always going to be there to help you. Now, to put this back up, there's a pin right here that sticks up, a little bump that sticks up on your detector. You see that right there? Then there's an arrow on this plate. You line up that little bump. I like to put my finger on it right there and then line it up with that arrow, and you can kind of feel it fall into place. Once it falls into place, gently turn it to the right counterclockwise, about 1/8 of a turn, and it locks into place. It's just that simple to take care of your detectors. Again, feel free to give us a call at the home office should you have any problems beyond that. But congratulations, and again, for protecting your family with this quality equipment, and thank you for being one of our customers.